This video is going to hopefully help you review the vocabulary that we've been learning. First, let's talk about a plane. Now, this surface that I'm writing on can be a plane. Any flat surface can be a plane. Floor, ceiling, walls, the county markers, if you look at a map, if you look at a world map, that's a plane. It's a 2D flat surface, and it's describing locations. Locations on a plane are usually described by a point. And if you think about that map, there are points on that map describing locations. Planes can be as big as you can imagine or as small as you can imagine. And planes are usually given a name by a capital letter. So let's label this one plane Q. And on plane Q I have a point. Points are labeled with capital letters too. Let's call this point A. So point A is located on plane Q. Let's draw another point. Point B. Point B is also on plane Q, and its name is a capital letter. What if we connect 2 points? Well, now we have what's called a segment. A segment is defined by having 2 endpoints. This line in the middle stops at A, and it goes until it stops at B. So 2 endpoints, and its name is given by the endpoints A and B with the horizontal line over the top of it. That is the symbol for segment AB. That's how we read it in the text. And it has 2 endpoints. But it also has all these other points in between. I could come up with as many points as I want in between. I could give them all names. I could then magnify that whole area right there. I could zoom in, and then I could draw a bunch more points. I can give them all names. So you can keep zooming in and giving more and more points on a segment until you run out of time, I guess. So segments have an infinite amount of points as long as they're in between A and B. Let's draw another point here. I'm going to say C and point D. Let's say I connect those 2 points, but rather than stopping at D, I keep going. If I have an origin or a starting point, that is point C, and it continues off towards D but keeps going, maybe even forever, then we have a ray. And rays are titled by the endpoint, and then any other point on that ray, and then the symbol, which looks exactly like a ray, right on top of it. So because D is on the ray, and C is the endpoint, or really the starting point here, then I can call it ray CD. If I have another point right here, point E, let's say, then all of a sudden my ray has another name. I could call it ray CE, and that would be an even better name because that's more descriptive of the ray, because I'm including the outermost points here. Let's draw some more points here. E. So let's call this one F, and let's call this one G. Let's connect them. But rather than stopping at G, it continues that way. And then rather than stopping at F, it continues out that way as well. Now all of a sudden we have a line. And lines are titled by any 2 points on the line. Let's try and be alphabetical when we describe the name of the line. And the symbol is the line symbol with 2 arrows on the ends. That means that it continues in both directions forever. If I put another point on that line, let's say X, Then I could also call this line fx, and hopefully you just thought, what about xg? Well, like I said, alphabetical, so scratch that. Hopefully you said gx. So as long as it's alphabetical and you use 2 points that are on the line, you can give it the name fg, fx, gx. I can keep putting points on this line, keep giving it names. But really, the outermost points are the most descriptive and the ones you want to use. So the best one is fg.